Here's a quick question for you. What do Brighton Beach Memoirs and Spider-Man Homecoming have in common? The answer? Pretty much nothing. Except for the fact that they both feature arguably the most iconic roller coaster of all time. I'm talking about the legendary Coney Island Cyclone at Luna Park in Brooklyn, New York. Designed by Harry C. Baker and opened in 1927, this is a roller coaster that's truly seen it all. From all sorts of natural disasters to the threat of being demolished back in the 1970s. But does it still hold up after nearly a century? In this review, I'll be answering this question and letting you know just what to expect when you go out to ride it. Welcome to CLT Coasters. My name is Josh, and this is my complete review of the Coney Island Cyclone. Location-wise, the Coney Island Cyclone just might have the weirdest setup at Luna Park. The ride can be found all by itself at the far right edge of the park, and there's a street separating it from everything else. You actually need to leave the park's boundaries to get to this attraction, which feels really weird to do, but don't worry. You should have no trouble getting back to the rest of Luna Park when you're done. But you can't just walk up to Cyclone and ride it as you please. In order to get on, you'll have to either pay per ride or purchase a Luna Park wristband. Individual rides on Cyclone cost $10 each, or you can get the park's extraordinary wristband, which will run you about $65 for the 48-inch plus option. And since Cyclone's height requirement is 54 inches, this is the one you'll have to buy. If you want to ride multiple times, or you're planning on staying at Luna Park for a while, I'd probably spring for the wristband because it'll get you unlimited rides on everything except for the ropes courses. Once you've chosen your ticket option, you'll be free to enter the queue, which starts just underneath the ride's iconic vertical sign. There's basically no theming in this queue or on the ride, but Luna Park is very much an amusement park, so that's perfectly fine. You will find a few historical landmark signs around the ride area though, reminding you that the coaster you're about to ride is one of the oldest in the world. As you approach the station after what's likely a very short wait time, you'll unfortunately be assigned a row. Because of the design of the trains, they need to be front-loaded in order to avoid valleying, which means there will be no row requesting, especially for the back row. On my only ride, I got placed in row 7 out of 12, so unfortunately I can't speak on the front or back rows, but I've heard they're best for laterals and airtime respectively. On the bright side, these trains are as comfortable as a couch, and the single position lap bars ensure that you'll have some good room to experience Cyclone's forces. The ride starts once the ops pull some levers in the station to release the train. This is really rare nowadays, and it's an awesome thing to see. You round a right-hand turn and climb up the ride's 75-foot lift hill, before dropping the same distance at a 58.6-degree angle, which is quite steep for a wooden coaster. This drop produces some awesome standing level airtime. I'd say somewhere between strong floater and weak ejector. And at the bottom of this drop, you'll feel just how smooth this coaster really is. Even for a century-old wooden coaster, it's genuinely one of the smoothest things I've ever ridden. You can tell Luna Park really cares about keeping this classic in top shape. Next is the first of many minimally banked turnarounds, and it produces some strong lateral G-forces. This is followed by a large camelback with a delayed but quality pop of airtime, and a second turnaround with even better laterals than the first. Then there's a second camelback that feels pretty similar to the first, and a third lateral filled turnaround with a good pop of airtime into it. If you hadn't noticed, this is a super repetitive layout, but every element delivers so it doesn't bother me. Up next are two more airtime hills. The first one is stronger than the previous camelbacks, but it's immediately one up by the second hill, which is a little speed hill with some powerful ejector airtime. It's probably my favorite moment on the Coney Island Cyclone. This is followed by a fourth turnaround, once again producing some powerful laterals that'll fling you to the side of the train. Riders are then treated to two more aggressive airtime hills, a tiny speed hill and a more traditional hill, before powering through the final turnaround and popping into the tunneled final brake run. With a top speed of 60 miles per hour and just over 2,850 feet in track length, the stats are pretty impressive for such an old roller coaster, and I'm happy to say that the ride experience is just as impressive as its numbers suggest. There's not much more outside of the coaster itself, but I want to bring up two little things before wrapping this up. At the end of the exit ramp, there's this weird revolving door that lets you back out onto the sidewalk. It's red and fully made of metal, and I've never seen one like it before, so that was kinda cool. The other thing is that there is a souvenir booth right next to the exit where you can buy Cyclone shirts, as well as check out your on-ride photos. The merch selection is really small, but it's there if you want to buy anything. So what's my final verdict on the Coney Island Cyclone? I think this is an awesome wooden coaster despite how repetitive it is. With a shockingly smooth ride experience and some very strong forces for a wooden roller coaster, let alone one from 1927, this old timer can absolutely hang with a lot of modern thrill machines. And coaster enthusiasts can take heart knowing that such a historic ride can be this high quality. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give Coney Island Cyclone an 8. It's by far my favorite attraction at Coney Island, and it ranks very highly in my wooden coaster rankings over the likes of the Beast at Kings Island and Lightning Racer at Hershey Park. Everyone should try to get on this thing because of how iconic it is, and it's great to know that Luna Park has every intention of sustaining it for years to come. So those are my complete thoughts on the Coney Island Cyclone, Luna Park's famous wooden roller coaster. If you've been to Coney Island and ridden this icon, tell me about your experience down in the comments. Before you leave, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And be sure to check out CLT Coasters on Instagram, the link's in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care, everybody.